Well, hello there, everyone. It is Saturday, April the 16th, year 2022. And here's something I haven't said for a while. Please subscribe. Please like my videos. Sometimes I get comments from folks. I might get 4 people commenting, but 2 likes. So please click that thumbs up. Everything can help the YouTube algorithm, as they say. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor, CPA, attorney. I'm mazske. I am the guy who was a low-paid blue-collar worker who's now is a near multi-millionaire, okay? And if you watch my channel, I don't guarantee anything. But if you watch my channel, I dare say you can challenge yourself to become a multi-millionaire, okay? So the question for today is, are you part of the 2%? If you're watching my channel, I think I can safely assume you are part of the 2%. What is the 2%? The 2% is the roughly 2% of the American population, adult age 18 and over, who are investors in real estate. Okay, and that's just an estimate, but 2%. So are you one of the 2%? If you're not, well, you've come to the right place to learn how to do it. Scroll back through my channel, look at my playlist, look at how I went from 0 to 25 rentals in 4 years. You can listen to what I say and probably pick up on some tidbit of information that can help you in your journey. Because remember, investing, don't have a goal. Let me say this. If you're watching this channel looking for how to get rich overnight, how to get rich quick, leave. My channel is not for you. My channel is for the person who wants to become financially independent in a time period as short as, let's say, approximately 10 years, who realizes that the odds of them getting rich overnight is slim to none. So that's not their goal. Their goal is to buy cash-producing assets that will take time, but they'll buy one at a time until they can reach their end goal of being financially independent. All right? Cash producing assets. Are stocks cash producing assets? It's debatable. You can get dividend paying stocks that will pay dividends, like pay interest. Maybe they pay 4%, 5%, 6%. Okay? So they're producing income. Okay? You can buy growth stocks that may 10x over the next 3 years. Okay? When you sell, you can get income. Okay? That's one difference. When you sell, you can get income. With dividends, they're paid out quarterly and you get income. With real estate, you get income every month. Okay? It's rent checks that come in every single month. As long as you buy intelligently and buy correctly and you run your numbers and you positive cash flow. And we've talked about positive cash flow, but it's basically in a nutshell, rent comes in, you pay all your expenses. You pay your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, your property manager. You hold out money for vacancies, repairs, and capital expenditures. Let's say you hold out 20% of gross rent. And whatever other expenses you have to pay. Do you have to cut the grass? Do you have to shovel snow? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever expenses you pay, you subtract. And whatever's left over is positive cash flow. My goal typically is a roughly $250 a month positive cash flow. Why is that my goal? Because I know if I get less than that, especially when I buy a new property, it takes a while to build up my reserves, right? It just takes a while to build them up. And if I'm positively cash flowing $100 and my cash reserves haven't built up much, and something big happens, my $100 takes a while to add up to cover that something big. So that's one reason I just want at least $250. Now, what happens over time typically is a couple things. One, you have inflation. Inflation historically will raise the price of a house 2 to 3%. All right, so we've had some crazy inflation here in recent times, and houses have appreciated quite a bit. So my expectations are that a lot of my properties, they've gone up in value quite a bit. My expectations are my properties may kind of stabilize. That increase, they've already had the increase of 10 years, maybe in 2 years. So I expect they're going to stabilize perhaps for a while. Okay, I don't know that for sure. It may not, because I've learned one thing in life. You have a lot of people out there who say they're experts, okay? And you have other YouTube channels. Some folks will emphatically talk about how they are right more times than not, okay? I've lived long enough in life to know that no one is an expert. Sure, some people know a little bit more than others, but there's literally no one's an expert, okay? A lot of people make educated guesses, okay? And they make educated theories and educated whatever it might be, but we can't predict the future. Because what will happen is, like, there's a person out there studying the 70s, what happened with inflation and whatnot, and is saying we're going through the exact same thing right now. Okay, maybe we are, but we're not. So maybe we are, but we're not. The 2020s are different than the 1970s. I was alive in the 1970s, okay? I was born in the 60s. I grew up during the 70s. It was 10 years there. I grew up, okay? The 2020s are different than the 1970s. We have this cell phone that I'm looking at to communicate with. In the 1970s, we didn't have that. We didn't have remote controls for our TV. In the early 1970s, we had black and white TVs, antennas on the back, maybe 3 or 4 channels. You walk up and you change the channel, okay? If you wanted to talk to a friend, you went to their house and knocked on the door, okay? As a kid, you played out in the backyard, play catch, throw a ball up in the air and play catch. I did that for hours sometimes. Play catch by myself, play catch with others. Played t-ball, played soccer, played football, played King of the Hill. You ever play King of the Hill? Get thrown down the hill? I went sled riding, I went tree climbing, I went out shooting a shotgun, hunting squirrels, I hiked on trails, I cut down trees as a teenager, learned how to use a chainsaw, I worked on cars, I pulled transmissions out of my personal car 3 different times one winter because I was having issues with the clutch, okay? So that was in the 80s. But life is different in the 2020s, all right? You had a tech crash in 1999, 2000, 2001. Tech stocks crashed. Why? You had internet companies come about that had no earnings, and they basically didn't know what they were doing, but they were just trying to get rich overnight. It crumbled, okay? We have tech companies now that are doing amazing things, all right? They're doing some absolutely amazing things. And a lot of tech companies out there, it's like they have a switch. It's kind of like Amazon did this. They have a switch. They can make a ton of money, but reinvest it into the company to keep growing it. But when the day comes, they can turn that switch, and instead of reinvesting the money, now it's earnings. They're making a ton of money, okay? A lot of tech companies are doing that now. They didn't do that in the late 90s. They didn't do that in the 1970s. They are making money, okay? Folks out there will say it's like the late 90s. They're not making any money. They are making money, okay? Not 100% across the board, but they are. Life is different now. We have access to more information than we have ever had in our life, all right? Just from this phone. I bought my first computer in 1995. Windows 95 was being advertised on TV everywhere. I was up in Maine. I finally gave it because it was expensive. I think my first computer was $2,500. All right, so it was 1995. I was in the Navy. I bought a computer for about $2,500. And what can you buy a computer for now? A lot cheaper than $2,500. This phone, though, is more powerful than my computer was in 1995. Life is different now. Now, with that being said, we still have the economy, which is the same, but yet it's not. It is much larger now than it was in the 1970s. Much, much, much larger. We are globally connected, more so than ever, okay? So we are not repeating the 1970s, all right? Will there be similarities to the 1970s? Yes. Will there be similarities to the 1980s? Yes. 1990s? Yes. History repeats itself, okay? But with history repeating itself, everything right now is speeding up, okay? And in one way, everything's gone backwards. We have this supply chain disruption. My local electric company announced the other day that they're having trouble getting parts and stuff like that. So if you have new construction, it may be delays in getting power hooked up to your house. But if a hurricane was to hit this area and we lose power, it may take longer to make those repairs. than it has taken. And it just seems like, and I could be wrong on this, but it just seems like part of society seems to be going backwards. Okay? We're not. It just seems that way. But we're moving forward fast. Things are happening fast. If there's a pandemic, if there's a variation in the whatever the newest bug is, it travels fast. If there's new technology for your phone, whatever phone you have, it comes to your phone fast. If you have a Tesla and there's an upgrade, it comes to your car. Okay? It's happening to more cars. My TV can get updates. Okay? Things are happening faster. Life is happening faster. At the same time, I dare say as Americans, we are getting lazier. We are getting a more entitled attitude. All right, we put our hand out. We want something, all right, because we feel entitled. And we're lazy. We don't always want to work. If we do want to work, we don't want to physically work because we're lazy, all right? So 2022 is different than the 1970s. 2023 will be different than 2022, all right? I can't predict what the future will hold. All I can say is that if you make the decision to buy your first rental property, your life will change. Your life will change. All right? And if you buy your second or your third or your fourth, you'll have some problems at times. My buddy has problems with his rentals. All right? His life has changed though. And if he holds on and perseveres and keeps plugging away, things will get better and better and better and better. All right? Make the fundamental changes in yourself. If you don't have your first rental property, do what you have to do to get your first. Get your money right. Get your credit score right. Do what you have to do. But time keeps passing. All right? Don't wait forever. Time keeps passing. Before you know it, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be 50. All right? That happened to me. All right? So good enough? Good enough. I took 12 minutes of your life if you watched to the end, and I apologize for that, and I thank you for watching to the end. If you did watch to the end, put a comment below saying you watched to the end, because comments do help the YouTube algorithm. All right? Good enough. Well, stay safe in all you do. Keep loving life. Mazske is signing out.